It's a jungle out there. There are guys who love bomb you then pull away. There are guys who are needy, clingy, and controlling. There are guys who say they want to find love, but then do everything they can to sabotage it. And the problem isn't that these guys don't come with warning labels. You got to figure it out for yourself. On today's Love You podcast, I'm going to give you an inside look at my Love You course and explain how to evaluate whether you and your guy are compatible before you waste any more time on the wrong man. Stick around. I'm Evan Mark Katz, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women and your personal trainer for love. Welcome to the Love You podcast. Keep listening to discover how to find a good man using a few compatibility tools from Love You. When we're done, I'll let you know how you could apply to Love You to create a passionate relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. Sorry in advance to everybody who's just listening to the audio podcast. I'm going to do a lot of gesticulating today. And the good news is that even if you don't watch this on YouTube, I can still explain to you what I'm doing, but there's definitely some visuals involved. So right now, I'm going to be making circles with my hand. Right? There's different ways I make circles. I make circles like this with my hands in like a little OK loop, one with my left hand, one with my right hand, and I put them on top of each other so they can potentially overlap in a Venn diagram. Right? Or you can do big circles. Here's what men want, here's what women want, and we're looking for the overlap between them. So this Venn diagram is our North Star, and it maps out all the possibilities in a relationship. In a strong relationship, the two circles overlap almost entirely. In a weak relationship, the two circles barely touch. Keep that in mind as I walk you through a few concepts that are essential to you figuring out how to finally choose a long-term compatible partner. So in Love You, we use this Venn diagram for many reasons, but the main one is as I said, there's what men want, there's what women want. For example, if a guy wants to text you once and get laid without any courtship process whatsoever, then it's entirely possible that there's no overlap in your Venn diagrams because his desire to text once, come over your house with a bottle of wine without getting to know you, listening to you, pay for dinner for you, right? It doesn't overlap with what you want, so it's a failing dating strategy. On the other hand, if you think courtship means for him to spend a month emailing you, doing a background check on him, and him paying for 10 platonic dates over a month with nothing more than a kiss, then there's probably not much of an overlap between your Venn diagram and what he wants. In a good relationship, a healthy, easy relationship, both people are naturally getting their needs met. It's not one wins and the other loses. So let's take this Venn diagram and let's look at a few measures of compatibility. Now, one measure of compatibility is masculine and feminine energy. Now, in month 4 of Love You, there's a section called Understanding Men. It's a whole month of material. We've got 1 full week on masculine and feminine energy, 1 full week on chemistry and compatibility, 1 full week on alpha males versus beta males. So we really dig into this in much greater detail in the course. But let's just understand masculine and feminine energy. And these are terms that a lot of people resist. I didn't make them up, right? So I don't want to get too in the weeds about gender stereotypes or how they came to be. We could call it yin and yang if you like, but for our terms, we're going to use masculine and feminine energy, and we're going to work under these working definitions. Masculine energy, right, is about self, right, doing something for yourself, and so it involves one's ego, ambition, drive, opinions, desire, passion, purpose, right? That get shit done kind of person. So there's an overlap between being type A and being masculine energy for our purposes. And so a lot of clients I have are beautiful women who have some masculine energy. That's why they're smart, strong, successful women. Okay? I have masculine energy as well. I've taken a bunch of quizzes. I'm usually about 75, 80% masculine energy and about 25, 30% feminine energy. So that's a definition. Then we have feminine energy, and feminine energy is about others. Right? Mother Teresa, feminine energy. Right? Let's take care of everybody else. Let's make sure everybody else is happy. It's uh, acquiescent. It's self-sacrificial. It is soft. It is soothing. It is making sure that other people feel taken care of and heard and nurtured. And men need to have feminine energy to be in relationships, and women have to have masculine energy to be in relationships. Otherwise, you're a doormat. So let's just understand that this is a scale and that we have overlapping circles. And I'm not here to tell you where you are. You could join Love You and take a quiz that I created to figure out where you are in the masculine feminine energy scale. Right? I think that's really interesting. But I think most of us have somewhat of a sense of who we are, really based on how we approach life. There's no wrong. I don't do anywhere in Love You. I never tell you to have to change your personality or stop being who you are, ever. What I recognize is that if you are a masculine energy woman who works 60 hours a week and has very strong opinions and has the desire to control the outcome of things, and you're attracted to a man who's like that, you might combined have too much masculine energy. Right. Now you've got two people metaphorically sitting in the driver's seat of the car trying to grip the steering wheel, and nobody lets go, nobody rides shotgun and navigates. It's two people fighting for control. And it's not a good or a bad thing. Right? Again, we're not judging the individuals. I spent my whole life trying to date women who were just like me. And there was just a little bit too much friction, too much opinion, too busy, too something. And so I want you to pay attention to your Venn diagram. If you're on this side of the masculine energy scale, you'd be better off with a man who's on the other side of the scale. A guy who's just a little easier going, less intense, less opinionated, less driven, less busy. And this is a thing that a lot of men arrive at quite naturally. As I joke about, Rupert Murdoch doesn't need to marry another billionaire. Right? He's looking for something that he doesn't have. Right? And again, that could be really shallow, which in this case, it's a blonde 30 years younger. But he's not looking for the female version of himself to be happy. And that's the trap that a lot of people fall into when it comes in dating. So if you're on the feminine side of the scale, you can go for a more type A alpha guy, and we can understand why they're attractive. But if you're on this side of the scale and you've been choosing the guys who are just like you but more, maybe it's worth it to pay attention to where you are on that scale. And again, this is something we get into really deep in Love You, but this is just a little taste of that idea about trying to find not just equal energy, but trying to find compatible energy. My wife and I are compatible energy. We naturally fall into our roles without any friction, and that's what makes us work. We didn't have to take a test to do it. We could tell it was working based on how it felt. That's why we talk about feelings so much in Love You. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in our big Venn diagram today is the idea from Attached, the book by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. Describes childhood attachment theory and how it overlays onto adult relationships. And there's three different kinds of attachment styles. There's secure, anxious, and avoidant. And this is also a bit of a Venn diagram because anxious means you crave intimacy and never seem to be able to get enough of it. So you need constant reassurance. Right? And the littlest things could cause you to feel very anxious about your relationship. He doesn't text you for 2 hours, oh my God, it's the end of the world. That's an anxious attachment style. Avoidant is someone who claims to want intimacy, but then sabotages that by being inconsistent, telling you he loves you, but not acting like he loves you, telling you he's second-guessing the relationship. Right? So there's men who are avoidant, and they're really, really hard to date. And anxious and avoidant people are like magnets for each other. In the middle, 50% of the population is secure. It's people who could form intimate, secure attachments and have real intimate relationships without all this drama. A lot of the people who are in the dating pool, as we get older, turn out to be the secure people often pair up, and it leaves a lot of anxious and avoidant people out in the dating market. The good news is that whether you're anxious or avoidant in relationships, your attachment style isn't fixed. Your personality, masculine and feminine, is closer to fixed. But your attachment style is often based on who you're dating. So I could be a really secure guy, but if I'm with a woman who doesn't call me, doesn't tell me she loves me, doesn't act like she loves me, claims to, I'm going to feel pretty anxious. and that she's going to bring that out in me. And the problem is that anxious women often choose avoidant men and then wonder why they always feel so anxious. That's the key. People's attachment styles can change over time. So if you date someone who is secure, a lot of your anxiety goes away and it makes you feel more secure. So in general, there's again this triple Venn diagram. There's anxious, secure, avoidant. And what I'm trying to do is get women who are avoidant, because they've been burned in relationships and try to keep their distance emotionally, to move towards the center, to become more secure, and people who are anxious to move to the center and be more secure, because this is where successful relationships lie. It would be next to impossible to have a successful anxious avoidant relationship, right? Because they push each other's button and trigger each other in a way that is really, really unhealthy. It's too far away. We need to act like secure people and not let our insecurities get the best of us. And that's where those attachment styles, this kind of thing that we talk about in month 4 of Love You, really come to the fore. One of the things I like about Love You is that, again, it's very verbal. I wish it was more visual, but there's like a sort of overlapping philosophy that applies to many units in the course. And the Venn diagram that we could overlay onto different dating scenarios makes a lot of sense. It's not just what men want, because if it's a man-centric world, you'll never be happy with it. But there's no such thing where men's needs are not considered in Love You, because we're talking about real world dating. It's not just theoretical. Whatever you're doing has to be able to make most men happy too. So that's how we arrive here in the middle, where men listen to women and try to make them happy, women listen to men and try to make them happy, and we look for partners who are compatible fits for us, whether it's masculine and feminine energy, whether it's anxious or avoidant attachment styles. We're just looking for something that works, and the way we know it works is how it feels. Again, I hope I got your wheels spinning. I know I didn't give all the information I could possibly give on this Love You podcast, but I hope I got your wheels spinning about the depths that we go to in trying to explore how to find a compatible partner, and how very possible it is, how it's almost a formula, and how you can find a good man if you change the way you're choosing men. That's the key. My name is Evan Mark Katz. Thank you for tuning into the Love You podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and choose all to ensure that you get notified whenever new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple. More reviews equals more awareness of the Love You podcast and more love in the world. And if you want to find love right now and are committed to making healthier choices with men so you can have an easy relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood, look for the link below and apply to coaching inside Love You. Thank you. I will talk to you soon.